Welcome to the Road to Dracula Vision's Artist Spotlight. Woo! All right, it's getting closer. All right, I am once again joined by, it doesn't look like Sam Noir's there. Apparently I'm joined. Oh, there
Hello!
he is.
Look who it is.
It
is Paul Lamenko. Paul Lamenko, all the way from Thailand. Casey Parsons, all the way from Stony Creek. And Dave's Hot Chicken, all the way from Queen Street. And me, Sam Noir.
This episode has it all, guys. So once again, I am joined by Sam Noir and team.
Hello.
And if you would like to have some more information about Dracula Visions, check out the SlampressTomes Facebook page. Click the little button on the top, and you will get add your email, and you will get notified. We'll send you out some newsletters. And some behind the scenes information. We just sent one out with some rough sketches on what's going to be in the book, etc. So you don't want to miss out on that. In addition, our pre-launch page is live, so go click on that because you're going to want to be notified when the Kickstarter goes on, because there's some early bird stuff on there that I think is going to go really fast. So if you are interested in it, make sure that you do get notified. All right.
And speaking of Paul Lamenko, part of the early bird kit is some special Paul Lamenko. I'm going to give it. Should I give it away?
You can.
A special Paul Lamenko signed prints. We're not going to tell what contacts, but there's only going to be 20 of them. And we're just giving this away because he's sitting right here, and he's come all the way from Thailand to actually no, they came in the mail. He arrived before they arrived in the mail. Anyways, this show is not about Paul. It's not about Casey. It's not about our delicious box of Dave's Hot Chicken. It is about Eric Vedder.
Mr. Vedder.
Hello. So before we begin, Martin, you want to bring up the Katie Sawatsky piece?
Sure.
This is a stunning piece because Eric has a pitch for you, and I think it's a brilliant idea, especially since we have access to Vince Sunoco screen printing service. Go ahead, Eric.
All right, go for it.
You should make T-shirts of this. It'd be a great screen print.
Oh my God, you're right. Bam. Okay, let me think about it. All right, sounds good.
As a possible stretch goal or something, you know. So.
Nothing to think of.
You know what? This really would be, because it would only be 2 colors in theory.
This is what I'm saying.
Ooh.
And we have our good friend Vince Sinoco doing screen prints over at Guerrilla Printing, and Eric's has an amazing inspired idea to do this as screen print. So
all right.
I mean, so I'm not going to do it physically myself.
I've worked with Vince. We did a Sketchelmania screen print, promotional screen print a while back, and it came out amazing. So definitely a great idea for sure. All right.
Right on.
Cool. All right. So without further ado, today's guest is a games and comic illustrator, graphic artist,
trying to be,
art director, and author of the best-selling romance book series, I Threw a Boomerang a couple of years ago, and now I live in constant fear. Mr. Eric Vedder. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thanks, guys. I loved writing that book, by the way. It was fantastic.
I'm only halfway through the series, but
it gets better.
I'm hoping for a strong ending.
Although, just on that note, Eric's writing partner actually does have a novel in the works called "To Steal the Sun," which
Sheldon Carter,
which is an upcoming Raid Press project. So something else to look. And you guys do Arden together, don't you, Eric?
We do a weekly comic through Instagram for now. We're just trying to get the content out there. And that's not it, but it's every Tuesday I post a comic. Every Thursday Sheldon writes a prose, so it's like a comic prose. It follows one after another, and it's all continuous. But we it's small enough that I can handle it every week on top of my full-time job. And same with Sheldon, he can write 1,000 words in a week, kind of thing. The main thing is we're just producing content every week, and then hopefully in a year we kickstart it or something. So that's the plan.
And tell us a little bit about the origins of Arden, Eric.
Oh, geez, man, that started so many years ago. Back in Joe Vereen, you guys know Joe Vereen's. Him and I spent a lot of time drawing together back in like mid-late 90s. That's how old I am.
Where you guys met at Sheridan College?
No, I met him. He lived in St. Catharines, like where I lived, right? So
okay.
We were just high school friends, and I found out he drew. We had a mutual friend.
Wow.
So he introduced us, and then that was it. We just like stuck on glue. It was just like and his brother Mike Freens, he also does a ton of drawing. So the three of us would just draw all the time, just a ton of artwork. And in that time period there, we were drawing some stuff, and I drew this like big boobed vampire looking lady with a giant dragon skull on her head, and I'm like, and Arden was born.
So amazing. And this has been years in the making. It finally, now is this true, it finally saw the light of day in the Raid anthology?
Yes, back in Raid 1, I did a Makoto story, just a one-off 8-page of that. And that was from a bigger story. I've always been kind of picking away at it. When I first joined kind of the Raid guys in 2008, I'd say, with the Transmission X comics, we were doing weekly comic updates. And I had 86 Arden pages on. That's how.
Oh, wow.
I was like, wow, I can probably do that again. So that's kind of the goal. Now that story doesn't make sense anymore, but it's part of the growth of Arden, right?
Yeah. So are those now kind of apocryphal Arden story pages, or are they still in quote unquote continuity?
No, they were like test pages.
Oh, I see. And are they still online, or are they
you could probably find them somewhere hidden. I don't know where. I have them all still collected, and probably a long time from now, not a long time, maybe a couple years from now, we'll do like a big Arden omnibus where it's like all the previous iterations of Arden before it became what we're doing right now. I like how you're showing all this crazy stuff.
Well, here's the cool thing. As I've joined the Raid studio in the past year and a half, and I've kind of got a lot of you and Dax and a lot of other members are remote, but I've been slowly learning and learned just now that you guys, some of you were high school buddies, and a bunch of you were also Sheridan alumni. Yeah. About four members are all Sheridan that went, well, not just Sheridan alumni, but went to school at the same time.
Yeah, so back in '96, I got into art fundamentals with Joe and his brother and my other friend Blair, and that's where we met Dax Gordine from the Forest Folk and a couple other friends there, and we just basically, Dax was an instant friend forever. We just drew all the time, and he was working on his stuff, we're working on our stuff, and we went into animation together, and basically, I got him into Udon, and then I got him into Raid. So basically, I'd get him into a job, and then I'd leave. Then I'd get him into the next job, and then he'd leave. So that's kind of the history of Dax and I. But Joe has always been there as well, and he's also part of Raid,
and Scott Hepburn as well.
And Scott Hepburn, you're right. So we didn't meet him in art fundamentals. We met in animation, and he was always drawing like Street Fighter stuff, like we were. Street Fighter 3 came out, and he knew Nishikura, I believe. Is that how you say her name? Terrible if I forgot that, but she's my all-time favorite Capcom artist, and Nishimura. And we just had like the art paint ripped out of the GamePro magazines to tell you how to play the game, like all the strategies, and we had them all pasted around our desk and stuff like that. And just we're like, why do we even bother trying to draw? This stuff's the best stuff.
Amazing.
But yeah. So Scott and Dax and Joe and myself, we're all part of Raid. So
wow, there's a lot of history there. And did you actually end up doing some work in the animation field before you ended up at Udon?
Yeah, I went into Whack Animation in St. Catharines, my hometown. So all my college buddies, they all got a job right after second year as well. This is when animation was only 3 years, and studios would come visit the third years, but they poked their head into the second year rooms to see if there's any talent. And Joe caught their eye, of course, because he's amazing. And then Joe, who also is from St. Catharines, was like, "Hey, Eric, you should go up there. They're hiring people in St. Catharines. Show them your stuff." So I went up there, got an interview, and that was it. Got into animation studio in St. Catharines, and all my college buddies, we got in. And so I'm just partying in my hometown with all my college buds, and it was pretty fun. It was a lot of fun. And went over to Sideshow Animation, and then after that, that's when I started working at Udon, basically 2000, 2001, yeah, somewhere around there.
Are there any highlights you want to point out from your animation career before jumping to Udon?
Ah, man, it was...
and this is traditional 2D animation, correct?
Yeah, like it was a lot of TV show work, like for Nelvana, Redwall was in there. I did a lot of background designs for like the set designs and stuff like that. I did a lot of object and item designs. Anna Green Gables. We did Ned's Newt. Man, there's a whole list of weird things that came on that kind of went past us there. I think there was this like superhero one, like fire trucks or something. I can't remember. It's kind of popping into my head. Anyway, but I mean, that didn't last for too long because I got into I always wanted to do comics. And then when I got there, it's like, man, comics are hard.
Well, my understanding about how Udon worked, and I think this might have been brought over from those that were over at Dreamwave, it wasn't too far from how animation was done, right? Like they had a method of making comics where they would traditionally you'd split it into like the penciler, the inker, the color selector, but they subdivided the jobs at Udon, didn't they?
Yeah, we had the strong guys like Alvin Lee and Omar Dogan, like those guys were doing the full comics, and I was asked just to help out with backgrounds because of my work in animation. My friend Omar Dogan, he was like, "Oh, I know a guy who can help me out. He's out of a job. He's got no job right now. I think we can get him into comics. He can do backgrounds fast, and he can take over this one job I'm doing as a background artist for Alvin Lee." And so that's how I got my start at Udon. And that happened to be Deadpool, the first book I worked on, which is hilarious.
With Gail Simone.
That's right. So that's how I got my start. I was like, I just got handed a background art job for Deadpool. I'm like, oh, now I'm a Marvel artist. Anyway, but yeah, it's been an interesting road. So, but I'm very happy with it and stuff like that.
So. That was quite a critically acclaimed run, and I guess the great thing about working almost in an animation manner with comics was that you could graduate to other things. So going from backgrounds to full penciling or character work, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What was your experience with Deadpool like? Because that was a pretty acclaimed run. Was that a huge learning experience for you?
That was great. It was really hard. Like I working with Alvin was great. First of all, like we had some great moments at Udon there because it was Eric Ko's parents' house and they were living in Hong Kong. So it was just like a boys' club working on comics for any time of the day and night because it's just you're just bleary-eyed working on trying to get the deadlines, but. I just that was such a cool experience, and I got to, while doing that, I'd also get a chance to work on a lot of other little projects. Eric would always just try whatever work came in, he'd find people to work on. I did a little HeroClix run. I did a lot of the cover art for the early HeroClix for all the Marvel.
Oh, amazing! The HeroClix game.
Yeah, the very first run. I think when they came out, they had all that box art. That's all my art from. So,
wow.
Not the colors. I didn't color. Someone else colored. I can't remember who colored that, but I did all the inks and art for that. And Morgan.
Udon did a lot of product work, right?
Yeah, because it paid
packaging
well, and quick and stuff. So some months I'd be getting a massive paycheck because I had my hands in so many things, and there was a run where I did all the backgrounns for Vampy. At the time, Kevin Lau was him.
Yeah. So this was the anime inspired version of Vampirella.
Yeah. He needed help with that. That's the thing is, like, I would jump in to help people all the time because they're like, comic artists. They're hard to get stuff done on time, and they run behind. That's that's hilarious. Talk to Calman. That's how I met Calman. I had to do all of his eye candy work because he got so far behind. I had to help him out with that.
So there was a lot of uncredited. Is it background work or just whatever they needed you to do?
You're in there, and sometimes they obviously spell my name wrong, spell with a K, or because I got Joe working there too. They'd call me Eric Vreens and Joe Vedder. They get our names always. So it's crazy, but no, it was great. That learned a lot and learned how shitty it is when you kind of phone stuff in because it's out there printed and you're like, oh man, I should have done a better job on that. So
was your first major work Sentinel? I quite enjoyed that title for Marvel's anime inspired Tsunami line, right? Which was published collected in manga format. Was that CB Cebulski's brainchild?
I think so. I think Gail Simone was on that as well. I did like the first 3 covers. I think I did the full book with Scotty Hepburn's backgrounds, and I just was like, I don't want to draw kids, and comics are hard. Joe, do the job. So Joe took over. But I had to help him with the mechanical stuff because he didn't like doing the techie thing. So I'd work on. So it was a bit of a mess how things got kind of patched together and shipped out the door, but it worked.
Fair enough. It's fascinating for me to hear it from your point of view because from mine as a reader, the Sentinel was one of the 2, let's say, or 3 critically acclaimed titles to come out of the Tsunami line, along with Runaways. So,
Beauty Bunch. It's supposed to be the Busty Bunch, but they made me change it. But I made prints called the Busty Bunch, so I have those. Capcom's like, maybe we should change to the Beauty Bunch. I'm like, come on, it's all over the place. They're busty.
So let's talk about your work on Street Fighter and Darkstalkers. As a video game fan and a fan of those characters, how much was this a dream come true for you?
It was awesome. Sadly, I only got to do a lot of like fan art at the convention, stuff like that. And we did a lot of like Udon made a lot of like Art of Capcom books, right? And they got into publishing big time, and so they made a lot of like art books around the Capcom franchise, and those were great because I got to do crazy pinups like this one here and many other ones. And I didn't really touch Street Fighter too much. There was a little bit. I did a couple of like little fill-in pages here and there. I did like a Final Fight one with a Hagar wrestling Zangief.
Yes.
A 4-pager. I still have all those pencils, and they're very dear to me. And people come to the shows, and they're like, "Oh, how much are they?" I'm like, "I don't want to sell them. I don't
priceless."
I have. Well, I've sold a few of my Darkstalker stuff, but anyway, that. But yeah, that led to because Alvin would do all or Arnold saying he'd be doing them as well, and like I would be doing the backgrounds on that, or they would like. I kind of tagged in whenever they need help. So,
so studio style.
What's that? Yeah. The
Studio
Darkstalker came out, which he did as well, and then they wanted to do another run a few years later, and then they asked me and Joe to kind of split the work on that. So, and I got to do all the Morgan pages because I love Morgan. Who doesn't? So. I love vampires and Dracula.
And again, that kind of fascinates me that, again, like animation, you were, I guess, the primary Morgan artist on a title as opposed to having one single artist do the whole thing. How was it in terms of trying to match up both your styles?
Well, the thing is, the story we do a chunk of the story, it'd be different characters. So Joe would handle kind of like... I'm slipping on the names there. He'd handle what's his name, the Demon Hunter.
Oh yeah,
and the little girl, right? So the two of them, he'd handle that.
Is it Sakura? Sakura. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Don't worry about my.
I had to do Morgan, and then the Pharaoh guy, and then the Sasquatch. So I did a bunch of those.
Oh yeah.
But the story would switch to the other characters, and Joe would handle those. So the styles didn't really have to match. The coloring really tied it together. Whoever did the coloring.
Oh, cool.
The cell shade, especially the cell shading, the style of coloring that they were doing on those Udon books. Now, how did you transition over to video games?
Well, we all love video games, right? And
yeah.
A couple of my close friends from animation, concept art was kind of becoming a big thing back in like 2004, 2005. You started to hear rumblings like Craig Mullins was hitting the scene, like concept.org or whatever, like DeviantArt was coming up. People are posting all these images. Like that's when those websites started, right? And we were all in there showing our stuff. And you came across Craig Mullins stuff, and it just you're like, he did that with Photoshop. What? It's just such a cool and fresh new thing. Like concept art was around with the Star Wars franchise and stuff, and they were also printing the new Star Wars books out. Like, and yet Ian what's his name? Terrible. And there was another guy in there that they just dominated the concept side of things. I bought all those books, and you just couldn't wait. Ian McKay, sorry, there it is.
McKay.
And so that really started to pique my interest. Plus, the comics were a grind, and they don't pay a lot. And I was like, man, I'm kind of in this, like, I'm not getting ahead anywhere. And video games, you start hearing, how much people are getting paid and stuff. I'm like, oh, these people that I went to school with are friends of mine. They're in the industry, and they're making some really good bank and stuff. And I'm like, man, if I could be a concept artist, that'd be awesome. I make a lot of money. Plus, I get to paint and be creative, which I love doing as well, and apply my illustration and the comic stuff to it. So a couple of friends, Vasilios Papagiannis and Craig Sellers, they were working at Silicon Knights in St. Catharines. Again, my hometown has a video game company that's doing
that's awesome. Yeah.
So it's just like everything was kind of handed to me. I still had to work to get it, but it was like, and here you go. You can stay at your mom and dad's house, and you can just work, right?
Right place, right time.
And then you worked your way up to what's your title now? A creative director?
No, I'm just a lead concept artist. I was art directing way back. I ended up getting the art directing gig for some Halo downloadable content back in which one was it? But this is like 2003, and I got to be art director on that for a little bit. And then they took all the map packs away from us, and it was just like character skins and gun skins. And I was like, oh damn! But at that time, we were starting Warframe, so that And then that
huge, yeah.
But yeah, that's how I got into video games. And then
I
went to a few other companies in Toronto, small stuff, and then I ended up at Digital Extremes, and like life couldn't be better. So
there you go. So final question, comment before I hand it over to Martin. On we did a charity Sketchelmania with the Raid Studio, and as soon as Dracula Visions came up as a topic, you were the first to jump on board, and you had mentioned vampires are your thing.
This was the piece
that's
from
right. That's right.
Yeah, that was the piece from it. Yeah,
that's right. I was thinking about today. I'm like. When was that thing we did? That felt like yesterday, and now it's I'm behind on this Dracula piece.
So where does the love of vampires come from?
Oh man, it's kind of like it's been around forever. Like because like Interview with the Vampires coming out, and like Dracula, like early 90s. I was just like, I just love like blood and stuff and sexy ladies. And Morrigan, like when it came out with the video game, I was like, I'm done. Like I fell in love with her, and I was like, that's it. Like, you know, that's she's the best. And so I always loved vampires and stuff because I loved Halloween and bats, and anytime I could dress up as like a bat or Batman, my favorite superhero, I was like, yeah, it all connected. So when I heard the Dracula, I'm like, I gotta do a piece for that.
All right,
Martin.
All right, are you ready, Eric?
What's up?
Okay, so we've selected 10 questions to determine your psychological profile. Are you ready to get tested?
Sure, let's do it.
I call this segment the process. So these are 10 would you rather questions.
Oh, geez.
Prepare yourself.
Okay.
Number 1. Would you rather have all farts be silent but extremely deadly, or all farts be harmless but extremely loud?
Oh man, I love a good sounding fart. So it's like, you know, I don't want to smell a fart unless it's my own and it's good. But like other than that, it's like I like to just bomb out when I can. It sounds great, and they're they're hilarious, right? They're always like when I get older, I got to entertain myself, so I'll just fart all the time. So.
Are you a fan of the pull my finger?
Of course.
All right, number 2. Would you rather drink orange juice expecting it to be milk, or drink milk expecting it to be orange juice?
I think I'd go milk orange juice because I love orange juice and I love milk, but I love orange juice. I had some today even. So.
Okay. All right. Would you rather have legs as long as your fingers, or fingers as long as your legs? Sorry.
Yeah, I think they gotta be fingers as long as my
Sorry? Fingers as long as your legs?
Yeah, why not, man? Like how far I could reach. I don't have to sit. I could just go and touch.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah. If I need to pick my nose, I can pick mine and someone else's, and it'd be great. So, I can just sit in the kitchen and just grab all kinds of food, and yeah, it'd be great. Excellent.
Okay. Would you rather sweat mayonnaise or sweat ketchup?
I love mayonnaise, but I don't know if I want to sweat it. Yeah, probably ketchup, because sweating mayonnaise, I'd be like, no, I want that, and then I'm not going to eat my own sweat. Maybe.
Wouldn't you think like people are going to think you're hurt all the time, or?
I like vampires. I want them to.
Oh, there you go.
What's wrong with that?
Right. Would you rather step on a piece of Lego barefoot every day for a week, or get a single paper cut between your toes?
I'll do the Lego.
The Lego?
Yeah,
not a fan of paper cuts?
Those are nasty. They're not fair.
They're the worst.
And I have pets. I'm always stepping on stuff here, right? Like, we got toys everywhere, and we got 4 cats, and my wife likes buying a lot of like toys for them. So
nice. Would you rather make your internet browsing history available for the last 12 months, accessible to anyone, or give up the internet for a year?
Oh, they can take a look. I'm pretty tame.
All right.
It's like, oh, what's the internet? They're like, oh, that's it. It's like, yeah, I'm easy peasy. That's all. So, have at it.
Nothing to hide.
Nothing to hide, man. Nothing crazy. So.
All right. Would you rather have a baby vomit on you or vomit on a baby?
I'm totally vomiting on the baby, man.
Yeah.
There's some of its own medicine. You say, hey, you just can't go around and do that, man. You gotta learn early. You know, life's not fair. So
yeah, life isn't fair. Okay. Would you rather have a permanent splinter under your big toenail or have a permanent bad haircut?
Dude, I got a permanent bad haircut, so I'm fine with that.
You're all right with that?
My whole life with a bad haircut. I went bald early, and then I'm like, I'm fine. I got the beard. You didn't say about a haircut. This is a beard.
The beard. And finally,
before we get to that one, should we throw it over to Paul and Casey to see if they have a random question?
All right, yeah.
All right, guys, you're on the spot.
Do we have a question?
Yeah. What's your
would
question?
Would you rather?
Another one?
A would you rather question.
I don't have any PG questions.
It's okay. Go.
Would you rather kiss Sam or Martin?
Can I say both?
Choose carefully.
Both, yeah.
Both.
No, you have to choose one, man.
Sam just ate some spicy chicken.
It's Sophie's choice.
Yeah.
I haven't met Martin in person, but I've met Sam, and I'm like, you know what? I'd give him a good old kiss. Why not?
Oh.
In your face, Martin.
These babies suck.
Oh.
Yeah, he
Fine.
stayed for you today.
All
When
right.
I meet you, Sam, it could be a whole other game where, like, I play psychological warfare. I pitch you against Sam, and you guys are fighting for my affection. You're trying to kiss me all night. You know?
All right. Final question. You ready? If it meant you could save pizza from extinction, would you eat a cockroach?
Totally.
He is the hero we deserve, people. Mr. Eric Vedder. All right. Final question overall. What is your favorite version of Dracula?
Different mediums.
I love the Bram Stoker one, the one with who directed that guy?
Francis Ford Coppola.
Exactly. I love that one the best, man. I saw that and I was like, that's the shit. I love it. The
It's
women
so
are
good.
beautiful, and the scenes are disturbing. Keanu's acting is right on par, and I love him. And I love
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman owns it, and I'm a huge fan of the aesthetic and how they push some of that. Because I'm reading the book to kind of get familiar with the that era and stuff, and it's very interesting to see their interpretation of the events. And I like it even more. And it's just so rad. The armor designs, the costume designs, like the Dracula's at the end there with his golden thing to make it look like the kiss from Gustav Klimt. I'm like,
yeah,
mwah, beautiful stuff. So
and it is theoretically the I think the second closest adaptation to the original text. I think side by side comparison, and actually. I feel like 8 out of 10 of our creators have chosen the Gary Oldman Dracula, which tells us a bit about the demographic of our artists, I think.
Yeah,
it's been
that's
pretty close.
That's my jam. I can watch that all the time. The music is stunning. Everything. It's perfect.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Eric, for doing this. And I'm so happy we have you as a part of the project. I can't wait to see your version of Dracula.
I can share screen real quick, and then I got to stop. But...
Oh, okay. All right.
Let's do it.
Folks, I haven't even seen this yet.
Let's do it on the face to get an idea. And that's
it. Yes.
Oh, wow.
I don't see anything. What? that's
you can just pause on it.
prepping. Yeah, exactly. Just prepping what I got plans for. So I zoomed in so you don't see the rest of it, but I got some ideas for this, so I'm pretty excited about it.
Oh, super cool, man.
Thanks, Eric.
I think we got the right guy for the project for sure.
You are a good man, sir, and you are a team player. I need to say this. Having just been working online and interacting with Eric, you always are the first to volunteer for anyone's Kickstarter. You're always the guy to like, comment, and share on all the posts. So keep doing what you're doing, brother.
I'm trying, man. I can always do better, but you guys are inspiring us all to like get out there and do shit. So it's good. It's really good.
Awesome, and thanks again,
are the
Sam.
Heroes. We're the goofs. We're the clowns.
I aspire to be one day.
I have an MVP trophy for you at some point, Eric.
Yes, and I'll really consider that T-shirt idea too. I think it's a really good idea.
I think it's asking for it, especially her piece. And I think it's
absolutely
really unique.
It's pretty cool.
It's very artistic and it's very stylized, and I think that looks sharp on a T-shirt. People would pause and look at that, going, "What is that?" You know. So,
or even a screen print.
Oh yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm. So many options, guys. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Sam, for
asking Eric. Thank you, Martin.
The great questions. And thanks again for the folks that tuned in. Make sure you check out Dracula Visions. Good night, all.
See you guys in the background. See you.